All right, what's going on, DJ family, DJ community, DJ Reese here of We Create the Vibes podcast. Yesterday, I saw a very interesting post by a beginner DJ, someone who's still, finding their way in the community. He posted yesterday, is DJing just an expensive hobby or is DJing a real career? Just to sum it up, that's what he posted. But he also said that he feels DJing, like how can somebody really make real money DJing full time? I saw this post yesterday. It stood out to me. And I'm like, you know what? We got to educate the DJs out there, educate the people. I thought this, poor way of thinking, a very poor way of thinking. So we're gonna touch this real question, this real topic. We're gonna be real. So DJs, yes, DJing it's not cheap. It's not cheap to be a DJ. Yes, it is a expensive career to have. However, it's not expensive to start off though. But it's an expensive career to have, and yes, you can make it full time. So let's be real. If DJing is not cheap, you got to buy gear. That's number one. But do you have to buy the most expensive gear? Absolutely not. You also have to upgrade your gear. That's very important. However, if you're buying good quality gear, the less you'll have to update. Also, if you're getting warranties on your gear and extending the warranties, the less you'll have to update. All right. Very important. You're always going to have to update at some point, but if you're getting warranties and you're not buying terrible gear, the less you'll update, the less money you'll spend. You got to get speakers. Unless you want to be a club DJ, then you're good. You don't have to get speakers. And see, being a club DJ can be very inexpensive. Depending if you want to use a laptop, you can use a laptop. If you want to use a standalone or, CDJs, you can use CDJs without the laptop. Just have your USB stick. A club DJ, a bar DJ, a lounge DJ, more than likely, especially if it's a venue that carries speakers, you don't even need to provide speakers. So that's pretty cool, right? Just get you a decent controller or a standalone CDJ or get the laptop with the controller that can either handle Serato or record box, and you're good to go. Now, if you want to pursue the mobile DJing, where either you want to do corporate gigs, you want to do weddings, private parties, then yeah, you're going to have to get a lot more things. That may include lighting, transportation, especially if you're mobile, transportation is serious. So you're definitely going to have a car, you know. Branding is important, but even if you're a club DJ, I do feel like branding is still very important. But on any level of DJing, your branding is going to be important where you can, there's free tools for that, but also you're going to have to pay to brand yourself. And that could come with the website. Also, you're buying music pool subscriptions. They're not, you know, they're not free. I do actually have a free one, but I've had this music pool since 2008. It's not free anymore. But these are some things that you're going to have to do or get before you even touch a venue or do a gig. So yeah, if you're looking at it if you're looking at DJing as a hobby, it can feel like a lot of money. And if you're only DJing twice a month or once a month for a couple $100, then yeah, it's an expensive hobby. But if you're really trying to go full throttle, make this a career, you're going to have to spend some money, but you're going to get your money back in return as long as you're branding yourself and you're consistent. I'm not saying consistent in just DJing and doing gigs, but consistent in putting yourself out there, consistent in getting reviews, consistent in showing up, consistent in networking. With anything, there has to be a level of consistency. The same if you have a 9 to 5, the consistency is showing up to work. Then first, showing up to work on time or early. Then two, being productive while you're working. And then if you're trying to move up the ladder, 3, being consistent in learning new skills. All right. 4, consistent in your customer service or how you deal or talk to people. So there's different levels of consistency. All right. But there is also DJs. There's a sustainable way to make a living off of DJing. All right. There is a sustainable way. But first off, your mindset needs to change. If you have a terrible mindset and what you're telling yourself, you're not going to make it, or this is too hard, then yeah, you're going to stay in the bedroom. Just be a bedroom DJ. All right. Your mindset is super, super, super important. All right. Because sometimes it's not about always the skill or being the best DJ. You got to have a strategy. And that strategy starts with your mindset. It depends on how you think, DJs. You got to think like a DJ. Most importantly, you got to think like a brand, and you got to show up, man. Show up and own what you're doing. Own your business. Don't be ashamed. All right. You're a DJ. You have a DJ business. Act like you have one. All right. The same way if you go to work and you're working a 9 to 5, you act like you have a job. You present yourself as someone who's going to work and who has a job. It's no different than DJing, especially if you want to make this a career and not just practice in your bedroom. You got to take it serious. All right. Now, let me break down a 4-part practical pillar that will help DJs to go from the bedroom into a full-time career. Unbranding, man, you got to stand for something. I always tell DJs, DJs I talk to, DJs I mentor, I always ask them, who are you as a DJ? What kind of DJ do you want to be? What type of vibe do you want to bring? It's very important. What experience do you want to offer? Are you just another DJ with a controller or a CDJ? Or are you building a name that people are going to talk about? That's an important question, man. Super important. And you got to invest in your logo. If invest in your logo, that's part of your brand. Make sure your social media is on point. Make sure people can understand your identity and have some professional photos, which you can do simply with an iPhone. All right. You don't need to hire a photographer. You don't need to spend a boatload of money. You can use your iPhone and put it on HD mode and take pictures, professional photos. All right. And then also the other thing, I mentioned social media, but this is a big one. I've audited a few accounts. I've had DJs ask me about their IG. A lot of DJs are not treating their Instagram like a portfolio. They're just not. Yes, I do post a lot of funny things, but I do post things related to DJs, and I do pin some of my events that I'm really proud of. I pin them at the top. I do post my events. I don't post all my events. I don't post all my videos of my events because again, I'm not. Yes, I do. I do make content to talk to DJs, but again, my overall premise is not to impress DJs at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's just not, I'm not really, I'm making content for people so it's relatable, so they understand the journey and the story. If it impresses people, cool. If it doesn't, cool at the end of the day. But make sure if you want to use your social media to get clients, make sure it looks like a portfolio. All right. That's very important. Also, diversify your income streams. Don't just rely on one type of gig. So again, if you want to be in the bar, you just want to be in a club. I'm not saying it's not possible, but it might be. It'll probably be a lot harder to DJ full time, just relying on bar and club gigs. They don't pay a lot. That's just the honest truth. Switch it up. Maybe you never know. Try corporate. Maybe you like weddings. Maybe, or maybe not. Try private events. Go more on the lines of mobile. Think outside the box. There's all types of events. I mean, last year the big coffee theme parties was a very big thing. I'm doing a toddler rave, which I think that's another big wave. Shout out to Lenny Pierce. He's been doing his thing with that. But think of other avenues, fashion shows. Think of other type of events you can do. Bar mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs. There's all types of events you can do, wine festivals. So think about it, because weddings and corporate events, they're just going to pay more. The bar and club, will build some type of level of consistency, especially if you have a residency and a certain level of presence, which is cool, but, diversify. And then even think about, depending on how long you've been DJing, if you're confident, you know what you're doing, maybe teach, give some information, give some value in what you're doing, show people what you're doing. This is what it looks like. This is how I run my DJ business. All right. Think about it. You can even do custom mixes for, and find clients who need that event production. Think of affiliate deals. You can even do branded content. All right. Because remember, DJs, if your gigs are slow, think about it. What else can you do to bring in income? Can't just sit around or DJ online. Think about it. DJing on YouTube, you're not going to get paid to DJ on YouTube, however, directly, but you can, if you build that core audience, man, you can go on a platform and DJ and maybe charge people to come in or partner with people. Or the fact that you build a big audience, now you can go rent out a space and have people come through. Think about it, DJs. There's Twitch too. You can get paid DJing on Twitch. Pillar number 3, marketing. Stop waiting to be discovered. Think about it. It's 2025. It's so many of us DJing out there. Why wait? Post your best moments online. Stay consistent with it. Show people the experience you create, not just your setup. All right. That's for us DJs, which is cool. But at the end of the day, is that where your focus is going to be on? Don't focus on posting your setup all the time. Post the experience. Build an email list. Build a text list. Show up where your audience is at. All right. And a tip for that, clients don't always hire the best DJs. Let's be real. They don't always hire the best DJs. Sometimes they're looking to hire the cheapest DJs. All right. But most of the time, they're going to hire the one who's most visible. Think about it. Pillar 4, make sure you have your systems in place, make them repeatable. So contracts in place, pricing sheets, booking process. Because again, you can have someone can call you randomly, and if you don't have your prices intact, man, you can lowball yourself. You might name a number that, you really don't even charge this amount, or maybe it's way too high. Like maybe you got nervous and said something and that's not even what you charge, that you deviated exactly from what your company charges, or you went too low. All right. Have a booking process. Also, follow up with clients, build client templates, stay organized. And a pro tip for that, if someone messages you today to book, try to lock them in within 10 minutes. If not, 15, 20, but stay consistent with that potential lead or potential client. All right. DJs, this is all possible. It's just going to take work. And if you really want something, you're going to put the work in. Now, let's get to the hard truth. DJing, yes, it definitely can be a full time job. For some people, it may not be a full time job because maybe they're not willing to build something bigger than just the music. Maybe some people don't have it in them. All right. But remember, music brings people together. Make sure your systems are going to bring people back. And then your branding is going to make you premium, big time. People are going to want to work with you. All right. And that's going to keep you gigging, not just the weekends, weekdays, and also keep the cash flow coming. All right. So, DJs, make sure you start building something that works for you and that doesn't drain you. All right. Because remember, your journey as a DJ doesn't have to be just a hobby. All right. This can be a full-time job, all right? And even if it is a hobby, there's no shame in that. But at the end of the day, you got to put the work in if you want a career of being a DJ. It's just not that easy. It just is not going to fall in your lap at the end of the day, all right? So make sure you invest smart, promote yourself harder, protect your brand like it's your name because it is, all right, DJs? If any of this hits home, DJs, feel free, comment below. Also, I built a free DJ community. We're going to meet up once a week. Topics are going to be discussed, and this is all in the betterment of the DJ community, so we can level up DJs, especially beginner DJs, part-time DJs, level them up beyond the booth and get them full time. man. There's no fluff. This is just strategy and support and a mindset shift. So if you're watching this video, all you gotta do in the comments, put career. I'll send you the link, or catch me on Instagram. That's underscore DJREESE underscore. Send me a DM, and I'll send you the link. And I'll send you the date and the time, and also a poll about the topics that you may want to discuss. And based off the poll, that's what topics are going to be discussed for today. Appreciate y'all. Much love. It's DJ Reese. I'm signing out of We Create the Vibes podcast. Until next time, DJs, stay motivated, stay consistent with love. I love y'all.